Yesterday's windstorm and the damage that followed, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward declared a civil emergency in the city that will speed up the process of accessing or distributing more resources to help clean up storm debris and repair some of the damage.
We are joined tonight by the mayor right now with more on what the declaration is going to provide for the city in the cleanup process. Mayor Woodward, thank you for joining us. We just heard from Brian Coddington, but I kind of want to ask that same question a bit. For folks who are without power and maybe who've been out of work so they don't have maybe money to go to a hotel, is there any help for them or any resources for them right now?
Well, the Red Cross is working to get those who need shelter, especially those who've lost power and need power for medical needs. We are looking at places that we can provide shelter for them. The challenge with COVID is that we can't create congregate facilities for people who need shelter, but we are getting some work done to be able to find shelter for those people. The story that you had about loss of life just illustrates how tragic these storms are and how dangerous they are. And we need to clean up the debris as quickly as we can. We have some very dangerous situations out there in our city right now. Let me just bring one of them up. Comstock Park right now, which last night we talked about. 50 trees lost in that one South Hill Park alone, many of them uprooted, which can expose underground utilities. But we also have damaged trees that could cause problems. And we have limbs that are hanging down, but we have people who are going into our parks and, you know, they're looking to assess the damage themselves. They're climbing on the trees. It's just not a good situation. So we're going to put out a statement very soon this evening to just tell people stay out of the parks. There are just a lot of dangerous situations right now, and we don't want anyone to get hurt.
Mayor, on a similar note, when you mentioned the loss of life, of course, Dr. Sanborn, we know passing away from a falling tree, and we know yesterday the city was still just trying to deal with the immediate danger of those falling trees. Did the city ever consider putting out a shelter-in-place alert, warning people of the danger out there during the windstorm?
We did put out a news release asking people to stay home if they could, that if they didn't have to be out and about, that they shouldn't be. We still are in a situation where we have debris that needs to be cleaned up and down power lines. So it is still a situation where really if you don't have to be out, you really shouldn't. At least stay away from areas like the parks where you see mass destruction, where you see areas that have not been cleared yet. Those are places you shouldn't be.
Mayor Woodward, are crews out there kind of assessing trees that maybe didn't fall but maybe are now at a greater risk of falling? They were weakened by the storm?
Absolutely, especially in our parks and golf courses. And that's the next thing that they're going to do is start removing those trees that look to be unstable. And that's something that really homeowners should be looking at as well. When we were out doing our storm damage tour yesterday throughout the city, there were a number of instances where we saw trees leaning on homes. So there are a lot of unstable trees out there that homeowners even need to look at to have removed.
Curious, now that you've had a chance to hear back from some of the crews who were out there yesterday just trying to assess the immediate damage, do we have any damage estimates? Do we know if there was any, infrastructure that was damaged on city property? We know besides the loss of trees.
Well, we have I believe the clubhouse at Downriver Golf Course, the bathhouse at Comstock Park. Both of those structures were damaged. That's all we know of right now. It's mostly been a tree situation. We've got about 250 trees throughout the city. That's in the parks, that's in neighborhoods, that's in right-of-ways and golf courses. So still a lot of cleanup to do.
My goodness, a lot of work ahead. Mayor Woodward, thank you for your time today.